एक चीज़ का ध्यान रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है। हम कभी कभार लाइफ में जब बड़े लो फेस में होते हैं और हमें कोई भी साइन बहुत ज़्यादा दिखने लगता है, स्पेशली समथिंग लाइक एंजल नंबर्स, बिकॉज वी ऑल हैव अ एलिवेटेड स्क्रीन टाइम, तो फ़ोन के ऊपर दिखना तो बहुत ईजी है। वी कैन लूज आवर सेल्स अ लिटिल बिट, एंड we can become a little bit addicted to the delusions of just that, oh, the universe is talking to me, but actually अगर हम देखा जाए, हम उन सब चीज़ों को इंटीग्रेट करके एक्शन में या रियल लाइफ में, जिसको कहते हैं, आर वी ब्रिंगिंग द 5D कॉन्शियसनेस। व्हाट इज द 5D कॉन्शियसनेस और द 5D अंडरस्टैंडिंग? सिंप्लीफाई कर देती हूँ। 5D consciousness or 5D understanding would simply be us seeing certain signs or us hearing about something again and again. In this case, angel numbers. Are we bringing that 5D understanding into our 3D consciousness? What is 3D consciousness? अगर मुझे दिख रहा है maybe 11:11, and I know maybe for a very long time I've been upset in my life, I've been sad in my life, तो हाँ, ये तो समझ आ गया, I'm trusted, I need to be positive, etc. But what am I doing to bring it into my 3D consciousness? Am I sitting down and starting to journal? Am I keeping a check on my mind to ensure that I will not think anything negative? Am I cutting off the wrong people in my life who feed into my negativity? So if you will not do that, then the whole point कि अरे हमें कोई sign दिखा, angel number दिखा, just goes for a toss. Then you can just maybe then it's almost like living like in a happy bubble कि oh my god, yeah, the universe is there, but then आप कर क्या रहे हो? आप वो sign को actually actionable कैसे बना रहे हो? That onus will always be on you. And like I said, it's very important to turn on the critical thinking in our life. So there is a small blurb that I'm going to be leaving into the comments of this video. I want you to go and check that out, which talks about the probability versus what it is if it's truly a sign. Hi, today is the second part of the angel number series, which is also going to be the last part. And this part has been divided into two mini parts. Angel numbers usually come into our life when they are trying to give us a message, either to offer comfort or guidance, or to just give us a deeper insight into our life so that we can realign it in how we want to carry it forward. So basically, however you're moving in terms of your life, if you see an angel number repeatedly, maybe it's either a reminder, something that you may have forgotten and that you may need to bring back in your life, or it could be a comfort, as in that yes, you are on the right path, so you can trust it. This video is divided into two parts. First, you're going to understand generally a little bit about number frequency and what does numbers mean for us in terms of universe, how do we be in the same vibrational frequency as the universe, and second, of course, we are going to be looking into certain numbers and their meanings. Now we know that universe is always speaking to us, and we should be aware enough and in alignment with universe to understand that yes, universe is talking to us, which also means that your signs are not just limited to numbers. You could be reading a book and you might find a line that may feel like, oh, this is exactly what I needed to hear. You may constantly be hearing something from random people in random conversations, and you may start feeling, oh, this is coming up quite a lot. Is it a sign? So something can be very blatantly strong also, and that is how universe talks to you. What happens when such signs come up? We also need to be in that mindset to understand कि हाँ, ये message है, शायद हमें इस पे ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है. One example I'd share, like when I was going for Vipassana, I had actually never heard of Vipassana before that. Maybe I think I had heard of it once from somebody, but I never focused on it. Maybe because that was not the time for me to go for Vipassana. But then a year later, there came a point in my life when I would randomly be meeting people, complete strangers, and somehow the conversations would pivot to Vipassana. And that is when literally from 10 people in my life, I would say, I started hearing Vipassana, Vipassana. In fact, there were times that two people, they actually came up to me and they suggested that, I think you should go for Vipassana. And that is when I went for Vipassana, and that was the most beautiful experience of my life. So messages can come to you in any form if you are in the vibrational frequency of the universe, and of course if you know how to understand those messages and those signs for you. Now let's talk a little bit about numbers also. We spoke in my last video that how numbers, angel numbers specifically, seem to be coming from the Pythagorean lineage, and numbers have always been important in terms of universe. I spoke about the 369 Nikola Tesla method. I also spoke about that how numbers carry certain frequencies which when put into certain music frequencies can also help rewiring your brain. Similarly, numbers could also be found in Bible, Bhagavad Gita, a lot of such religious or spiritual texts, because all of these texts are either divided into chapters or verses. So if you've studied these books, or if that is where you feel your resonance from and you're seeing a particular number consistently, you might also want to refer to the chapter or the message that was there in one of these spiritual or religious books. Now, one thing to note is that कोई भी जो organized या monotheistic religion है, which is Islam or Christianity, they actually negate the belief in angel numbers. They don't believe in angel numbers. And why is that? Because spirituality and religion works very differently. Spirituality is a lot more about belief and being in touch with the higher powers, which is beyond these organized religions or a very organized or a scriptural way of living. All right. But still, if you find your resonance in that, and at the same time you're trying to like marry your religious beliefs with spirituality, you may also refer to such scriptures to find your resonance with that. But at the same time, a lot of the people here who are watching this video would not be here if our belief was only limited to religion, right? So this is where then the other aspects of spirituality or occult come, which is also numerology and believing in the higher number frequency. Now, जैसे एस्ट्रोलॉजी में काफ़ी डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट्स होते हैं ऑफ एस्ट्रोलॉजी, लाइक दिस लाल किताब, दिस वैदिक, दिस वेस्टर्न, दिस नंदी नाड़ी, दिस भृगु नंदी नाड़ी. Similarly, in numerology also we have a lot of different formats in which one can decode the meaning of numbers. Like I said, because numerology comes from the Pythagorean lineage, so in this video, whatever messages we try to understand, we are going to first understand from that Pythagorean lineage, and at the same time I would also be using a lot of symbolism around numbers. I would be using some of my understanding of tarot and the connection of numbers with planets, ancient knowledge of somewhat paganism and maybe Greek mythology, and that is how I brought down these meanings for you here today. एक बहुत सिंपल मीनिंग एंजल नंबर्स का बस ये है दैट एंजल्स और सम हायर पावर इज देयर अराउंड यू. नाउ ईदर इट वांट्स टू सेंड यू अ रिमाइंडर एज यू आर कैरिंग आउट ऑन योर जर्नी ऑफ लाइफ कि ये करना है, ये नहीं करना है, और it's simply there to tell you that you are supported in your journey. So just keep trusting yourself. Now, Pythagorean numbers से अगर हम समझें तो numbers are generally divided into masculine and feminine energy. All odd numbers carry masculine energy. All even numbers carry feminine energy. इसमें जो 0 है और जो 1 है उसको कहीं ना कहीं हम neutral numbers मानते हैं. Alright? Now, each time you see an angel number, there's two ways to absorb that message. First is you can simply pause and check, okay, what was the thought that was in my mind right now, or what has been one consistent thought in my mind. You ask yourself that, and maybe from that you would understand that, okay, maybe for this particular thought, if I'm seeing this angel number, it's trying to tell me that either I'm on the right path or how I need to realign few things in my life. Or the next thing is, if you see an angel number, the moment you see it, there's some thought that's going to come to your mind after you see the angel number. अरे मुझे 10-10 देखा, अब इसका क्या मतलब है? So the next thought that comes to you could also be something that you needed to think about, and that's where the angel number becomes more like a reminder in your life. Okay. Another very interesting thing to note is that if you'll see that majority of the angel numbers when add up to the number 3, 6 or 9. And this is exactly the mystery around angel numbers or number frequency generally that is considered very mystical and magical in universe. But 369 we'll talk about in some other video. Chalo, now let's start talking about the meanings of the angel numbers. I know this is the only part you all are very excited about. So if you see number 1 or 1111, and 1111 is something that we all see very frequently. There is, I think, one song also made by some artist on 1111. There's this whole concept of the moment you see 1111, make a wish. I think song ka naam bhi make a wish hai. So what is 1111? 1111 is the number of unity. It means that you are one with the universe. You have to trust your intuition, you have to trust yourself, you have to trust the fact that you're being supported and guided. It means that you need to understand that everything in your life is connected, because it has the energy of both 1 and 11. 11 is also seen as a master number in Pythagorean numerology. So which means that this is, a gateway to your higher consciousness. Simple meaning would simply be that, eventually you would realize in your life how everything comes together to make sense, and you need to stay focused. Depending upon your life and journey, few other things it can also mean. It can mean that you need to be independent, you need to be self-sufficient, you need to be more goal-oriented, you need to be innovative, you need to be you need to harness the qualities of the natural leadership that you have within you. Maybe you have not realized it, but it's time to bring out the natural leader within you. You need to be a go-getter, you need to be creative. It is also a very strong number for manifestation, and that's why the song, the moment you see 1111, make a wish. It's also about think positive, because universe is your co-conspirator. So whatever you're thinking will multiply. So this also becomes a number of multiplicity. Let's move on to the second number now, which is either number 2, or if you're seeing a lot of 222 or 2222. So सेकेंड नंबर की अगर हम बात करें, इट इज़ द नंबर ऑफ डुअलिटी. मी, यू, मेल, फीमेल, yes, no, yin, yang, left, right. So it's that dance of duality when we look at the second number. And it's all about partnership and co-creation. Some believe that, it may also be a sign of checking in on your love life or your emotions, and are you operating from a healthy space when it comes to love. If you're single and you're seeing this, and that's also maybe a period in your life and you're feeling extremely lonely, then maybe you need to understand that, okay, is my emotion towards the partner or the companionship that I want coming from a healthy space, not limited to loneliness, but also that I'm looking for partnership that helps me grow, adds value to my life. If you're in a relationship or if you're with someone, then it would also mean that, each time you get this, especially if your love life is going good and strong also, not just through a turbulent phase, then maybe that is an emotion that you need to hold on to stronger, and you need to cherish the love that you have in your life more strongly. Some people also believe that, seeing a lot of 2222 or 222 could also be a sign of twin flame. On this channel, we don't talk a lot about twin flames and soulmates or karmic, because I personally believe that I don't want to feed into delusions of anybody which are somewhat seeded into the mind of people due to the internet. I don't want that karma coming onto me, and I want to be extremely careful about it, because when it comes to twin flames, not everybody, even 99.9% of the people are not on a twin flame journey, okay? But if you feel any resonance with this, then yes, sometimes it might also mean that, you are on a twin flame journey. And I would not say a twin flame journey, but yes, there is a chance that you may attract like a twin flame in your life. However, like I said, this is something that I don't believe in. It's just something that is said as a message for this particular number, so I'm sharing it. If you were to ask me ever that if I'm seeing it, does it just mean only twin flame, I would say no. It's first about duality. Now, what is this duality? Duality is that how you need to be working in alignment with the resources that are available in the universe. If at any point in your life you just feel that, I'm becoming like very I, me, myself, or I'm becoming a little bit of a recluse, or I'm closing off a little bit, maybe then it is time that universe is telling you that no, you need to go out, in the universe, and you need to find your people, find your tribe, find your support, find your hobbies. You can't be a one-dimensional person. You can't have a one-dimensional life. This number also means that you need to start now focusing on multiple sources of income. It also means that you need to check on your emotions, because 2 is also the number of emotions. So you need to check on your emotions and ensure that you're aligning your emotions to come from a healthy space. And if you're constantly in a negative or a sorrowful state of your life, or आपको 2222 दिखे जा रहा है, so which basically means that it's about time that you figure a way of taking better care of your emotions. Maybe feel what you're feeling, but then also release. Some other things that this number also means is that trust your intuition, Believe in the power of being unified with people around, with resources around, with universe around. Be a little bit more inclusive. Trust that you will get support at the right time. It could also mean that you could be going through a very sensitive period in your life, or you're experiencing emotions from a high sensitive point of view, and it's maybe time to bring a little bit more balance. It is also a great number for partnerships and collaboration. If you see this, and if you're struggling with something in your life, maybe universe is telling you that you might need like a partner or somebody that you can collaborate with for this particular area of your life. It also talks about building healthy relationships, meaningful connections in your life. If you're seeing number 3 or 333, then this is the number of creation. 3 is a very, very, very mystical and a very spiritual number in the universe. In fact, काफ़ी सारी अगर हम folk tales देखें and like all the childhood stories that we may have grown up with, you would always see number 3 being there. There were 3 wishes, there were 3 little pigs, there were 3 bears. Even in Harry Potter, there's like Deathly Hallows. It's like 3 elements that are coming together. Then there is the Holy Trinity. Then there's 3 gods of creation, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. The universal cosmic sound, Om, also has 3 syllables and 3 sounds. It's not Om. It's actually Om. So this is the power of 3. 3 is the number of knowledge. 3 is the true number which is connected to the higher cosmos and the higher realms. So when you see number 3, these are the things that you need to focus on. Probably learning, bringing out your creative expression, being more expressive, being curious, allowing your artistic side to shine more, turning on the charm in your life. When you see number 3, maybe there is certain hidden knowledge, hidden attributes in you that you need to bring out, and you need to realize that these traits are not just your authenticity, but they are also what make you extremely charming. 3 is also the number of you being a magnetic force, which means that with the knowledge that you have, your creativity, your expression, you can bring anything in your life. You will attract and you won't have to chase. 3 is also a social number because 3 is always a party. It's about being optimistic. 3 can sometimes also be about someone who's struggling to believe in the power of their communication. When you constantly see number 3, you need to understand that you're a gifted communicator that comes with some subconscious wisdom. So you need to allow that wisdom to come to surface. It's about embracing your creative side. It's about embracing the wisdom that may have somewhat been hidden or may have been polished off due to the conditioning of the society. And lastly, 3 is also about finding equilibrium or harmonious balance between different aspects of your life. If you see number 4 or 444 very frequently, then it's about stability. There are 4 elements in universe, there are 4 seasons, there are 4 cardinal directions. So it is all about structure and stability. Pyramids have 4 sides, 4 faces. There are 4 faces of moon, it starts from waxing, waning, to full moon, to new moon. There are 4 noble truths in Buddhism, if you're aware of Buddhism. So 4 is completely the number of stability, establishing solid foundation, and again, everything coming at a balance in your life. Because from this balance, this foundation is where your growth and expansion would happen. Expansion never happens without taking the help of others. It never happens by doing things just alone. You need those 4 pillars in your life. So when you see this number, you have to figure out that, okay, what are the other pillars or other co-conspirators in my journey that can come together to make my solid foundation so that I can elevate. Another important aspect of this number is also adding structure to your life, to your desires, to your dreams. If you're seeing this number consistently at a time, when life feels a little bit haywire, maybe all you need to do is just bring discipline in your life and bring a structure where you go back to that old school methodology of like having a timetable of how and where you spend your time in the day. and then from there finding ways that enable your growth. There are few superstitions also associated with the number 4, and that is because it's Rahu, so it can also mean something very sudden or something very disruptive. But again, sudden need not be bad, it can be good. Disruptive sounds like a disruptive word, but disruption can also mean innovation. So if you are constantly seeing this number, it's also about trusting yourself a little bit more to take that leap of faith. Couple of other meanings of this number are being practical, continue doing the hard work, find dependable resources in your life, and at the same time emit that dependable energy, stay loyal, stay patient. It's also somewhat a number that says that, risk is great, but take calculated risk. Slight traditionalism when you're also taking risk. 4 is also a number of serving others and helping others. It is about suddenness, which means that if any sudden idea or anything suddenly is happening in your life, only structure equanimity, which is that balance. कि जो है ठीक है, हम थोड़ा स्टॉइक अप्रोच रखेंगे, हम बहुत ओवर रिएक्ट नहीं करेंगे, एक्सट्रीमली रिएक्ट नहीं करेंगे किसी सिचुएशन में, would help you in bringing that balance and then staying in alignment with that idea or disruption or that sudden upheaval in your life. Now coming to number 5, or if you're seeing 555, again 5 fingers, 5 senses, 5 elements of nature. So 5 represents change because that is the only constant. 5 is actually the number which just speeds up your transformation. If you're constantly seeing this number, it just means that yes, transformation is inevitable. Change तो होगा, मगर बड़ा स्पीडी होगा. स्पीडी होगा तो उसका मतलब ये है कि कहीं ना कहीं आपको टाइम निकाल के यू हैव टू सिट विद योरसेल्फ सो दैट यू कैन स्टार्ट इंटीग्रेटिंग योरसेल्फ. जो चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, जो इतनी सारी चीज़ें आपकी लाइफ में न्यू आ रही हैं, उसको हमें put together करके how do we integrate it back into our life. That is the meaning of 5, or if you're seeing 555. And it's also the number of movement, it's the number of freedom, curiosity. It's also the number of moving away from your self-limiting beliefs. It's not just about अरे बट मुझे तो डर लगता है, मैं कैसे कर लूँ, I think I will never find love, or I think I've never supported in my journey. You need to move away from these self-limiting beliefs. And once you do that, then maybe you might start seeing some other number which is saying that, hey, you have the right people around, now it's time to go out and make new connections. 5 is also about being open to networking, being open to more connections. But the biggest meaning of this number is always change, and change is always uncomfortable. It's chaotic. So it's always that you will have to learn to manage and integrate that uncomfortable and chaotic change. It symbolizes change, growth, evolution. It asks you to focus on that fluidity of life, where you are able to adapt through and to transitions, where it's not just being resistant to change, and that you have the inner power to move through things or to move through life, because life is a curveball, right? So move through that curveball. You have the power within you. Couple of other meanings of this number are going to be adventurous, curious, adaptable, flexible, outgoing. If you see this number, it's time that you become more social and not stay a recluse. It's also about embracing your freedom loving, fiercely independent and adventurous side. If you're seeing 6 or 666 consistently, then it's a pure feminine number, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy who's seeing this number, but it is a feminine number. It's also considered as one of the perfect numbers. This number is all about alignment with nature. It is a balance between your spiritual and your materialistic sides. It is also a sign that you don't have to worry about money. It's also a sign that you need to bring hobbies in your life. You need to bring a creative aspect in your life. Suppose if you're very focused on your career and your work and you're constantly seeing this number, then this number is telling you that come back to hobbies. Find that work-life balance, because the life is also important for your work to flourish, and this life is who you are. So this is also a number that talks about finding that equilibrium amidst all the chaos and dualities of life. It's about bringing that wholeness, that wholesome feeling that life is not just about one thing. If you're also someone who's very invested in relationships in their life, or is very emotional about whatever that they do, then this number would also mean that it's time to bring back that balance with bringing out your masculine side and taming your feminine side, so that you are in balance. Creative pursuits that are there on your mind also deserve a chance, is also another meaning of this number. A couple of other meanings of this number is that you are surrounded by caring people, you are surrounded by nurturing people. Maybe you need to find them and reach out to them. It's about healing, it's about compassion, it's also about self-sacrificing. Now, what do I mean by self-sacrificing? Knowing the balance. Are you overdoing the self-sacrifice for something in your life, or do you need to maybe start understanding that some things may require a sacrifice from your end? It's also about knowing if your idealism is taking you places or is the reason that it's stopping you. It's a very warm number, and it also simply means that you are definitely protected in your journey. But that is if you allow your creative and your feminine side to be in balance and to flourish. Now, the next number is 7, or if you're seeing 777 quite a lot, this number simply means find yourself, find yourself, find yourself, find yourself. Listen to your calling, don't ignore it. Listen to what your heart, your mind, your soul is trying to tell you. Listen to that obsessive thought in your mind that's coming again and again. There is a reason that is coming again and again. It is a number of knowledge, it is a number of introspection. And if you suddenly hear this and you feel, Arey, kitna introspection, or we have done it enough in our life, maybe then it's about time that you need to move to the second step, which is that what do I do now with this all knowledge that I have from introspection? How do I put it into action? It is a number of wisdom. It's also the number of exploring the mysteries that lie within and beyond. It's basically the why of your life. So जॉब पे जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, अच्छा है, मनी आ रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है, you're constantly seeing this number, and then you suddenly feel there's maybe like a void in my life also. Why is that void? You're sitting with a circle of friends and you're not really like feeling great or whatever. Suddenly you see number 777 and you're like, oh, I don't know what it's trying to tell me. Maybe it's making you question that are these meaningful connections in your life. So it's also answering the why in your life, and that's why finding yourself is very important. Great number. If you see it consistently, it kind of says that, you're on a good path. And if you're doubting yourself, then it's a sign that, it's fine. You're on the right path. But it can also be a reminder. If you're doubting yourself, then maybe it's a reminder that you have to come back to your calling. So make sure that whatever you're doing is first in alignment with your calling. It's a very spiritual number. It's also about philosophy. It's about research. It's about intellect. It's about being introspective. Some people also say that I think it's different in different schools of thoughts and different religions and spirituality. Sometimes 7 is a lucky number. For some people, 7 is an unlucky number. And that is only because what is your perspective towards the whys in your life. Are you resistant to those perspectives, or do you embrace those perspectives, understand your calling, and move forward from there? Now, the next number that we have is 8 or 888, if that is what you're seeing consistently. Generally, it's considered like a lucky number, but it's not really lucky because it basically means that, a lot of hard work is what is going to make you shine. The hard work, the patakna from the universe is going to polish you off and then finally make you shine in whatever it is that you're doing. And if you look at number 8, it's also like the number, the symbol of infinity, right? And infinity ka agar sign dekhein, so like it goes in an ebb and flow. There's a high, then there's a low, then there's a high again. So it says ki jo cyclic nature hai of universe, of existence, with ups and downs, ebb and flow of life, un sabko embrace karna aana chahiye. Because life is always going to be an ever-changing rhythm. And between this, you have to find your resilience and again your equanimity. You have to be stoic. You have to be centered. You don't have to be overreactive, overtly happy to the highs of life or overtly sad to the lows of life. Because ये perpetual cycle के through ही हमारा growth, हमारा transformation आता है. Another message of this number is that hard work pays off, perseverance pays off, discipline and consistency pays off. You would also see this number quite a lot when you're questioning the ambitions in your life. Either it would tell you to come back to your ambitions, or it might be telling you that you need to find balance in your ambitions. It's a number of prosperity, it's a number of being balanced, it's a number of finding your strength. Strength is very important the moment you see this number. It's telling you constantly ki you have that lion within you. You just need to bring it out. And you need to know that yes, the lion requires both nurturance, but at the same time, that lion is a very fierce energy. Once you unleash it, then there's nothing that you can't do. If you're seeing 9 or 999, then this number is the number of completion. It's all about fulfillment and culmination happening in your life. In fact, Pythagorean numerology में तो उसको as a symbol of attainment भी देखते हैं, like a symbol of mastery. Somewhat it's similar like to the energy of number 1. दोनों ही ना कहीं बड़े powerful manifestation वाले numbers हैं, but one is like the starting of that manifestation journey, which means that you have to go through that entire journey of like putting in the work, etc., and like coming to then number 9. 9 is where your manifestation has come to you now. You have it now with you. It also signifies the end of a journey. So suppose 9 बहुत ज़्यादा दिख रहा है. You've been like questioning, should I continue with this particular situation in my life, with this job in my life? Do I need to move states, places? You see 9, probably it is saying the journey here has ended. It's about to venture on a new experience in your life now. And जो भी wisdom आपने gain करा है अभी तक इस journey से, वो ज़रूरी है. Hold on to it. It also is a number of lessons. So reflection on your lessons of life, or something that has been quite persistent, your patterns in your life, becomes very, very important. थोड़ा Mars की energy भी carry करता है. Mars doesn't like people who procrastinate or who are very imbalanced when it comes to their temperament. So this also means that while you're learning to be independent, which is great, also learn the support of people, because being very independent may lead to the extremism of one side of temperament. And because it's the energy of Mars, it's a high moving energy. It means that if you really want to achieve something, you can't sit back and think a lot about it. You have to get into that action mode. A very wise number. It also means that you are going to become, or you are already spiritually aware, so trust yourself. It's also a number that now life has taught you a lot more experiences, so you are that experienced wise person. It's the number of feeling awakened कि हमने अपनी life का एक chapter, एक journey complete कर ली है. It's also the number of courage. Now let's come on to some other numbers, which are your repeating numbers or a string of numbers. जैसे हमें 1 2 3 या 1 2 3 4 दिखे जा रहा है, हमें 10 10 दिखे जा रहा है, हमें 12 21 दिखे जा रहा है, या 12 12 दिखे जा रहा है. तो इसका क्या मतलब है? इसका एक सिंपल मतलब ये है कि हर एक लेसन जो आपकी लाइफ में आ रहा है वो आपको नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे ले जाने के लिए आ रहा है. सो इट्स लाइक द स्टेप्स to the ladder here being the journey of life or the journey of a particular situation, and each number is like a step. So जब हम उसका एक part complete करेंगे तब हम दूसरे step में आएंगे, फिर हम उसको थोड़े time enjoy करेंगे, then again we might go to the first part. Again, when you start seeing double numbers, some people believe that it also means that you're on some sort of a twin flame journey, and maybe it's got to do something with your romance. I honestly don't, like I have already said in this video, I would not be talking a lot about the twin flame journey, because I have no interest in feeding into the delusions fed by the internet to a lot of people, and I have no interest in taking anybody's karma onto me. मुझे लगता है अगर ऐसी कोई जर्नी या कुछ होती है, nobody has the need to go to the internet and get that validated, or nobody has the need to go to any psychic reader and get that validated, because such few people were meant to be on this journey, and now internet has somewhat made it into a phenomenon or a trend. But yes, if you see repeating numbers in a string like 10 10 1 2 3 4, some people like to believe that it could also be that you're on a twin flame journey. Now coming to the first number that I have in this series, which is 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4. This number is just about believing that you have to trust the process. This number is about just being in that process. It will start from the first step, which is number 1, and then slowly the future steps will come, which is your 2, 3, 4. What will they be? They will be unique to every journey. You just have to trust the process and stick to it. Especially very relevant, suppose if you're starting like a new business, or if you're starting a new relationship, you're not really sure of it, you don't know, will this hurt me, will this not hurt me? Trusting the process means अब जो कार्मिक साइकिल है या जो कर्मा है उसके थ्रू तो हमें गो थ्रू करना ही है ना. So which means if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, you just have to trust the process and not focus on the end goal. Will it be a successful business? Will it be a successful relationship? That's not needed. You are meant to be in the journey. You just have to trust the journey. The next number that we have is 1010. 1010 is simply the number of new beginnings. It means that there are infinite possibilities within the realm of creation. हम जो भी कर रहे हैं, हम जहाँ पे भी हैं अभी, बहुत सारी possibilities हैं. Everything is possible, and that is why to believe in that you need to come back to your divine self. You need to come back to divinity. You need to believe in the interconnectedness of everything, serendipity, everything happens for a reason. And 1010 अगर बहुत ज़्यादा दिखने लगे, so it also means कि at a soul level भी आपके काफ़ी सारे changes हो रहे होंगे, like really understanding at a much more deeper level about the transformation and changes in your life. Again, if it comes for if like you are very bogged down in regards to your love life, and if you're constantly seeing this, then it may also mean that you would be finding a right partner, but for that your soul needs to also elevate. You also need to find yourself first. Your soul needs to be at that level that when the right partner comes to you, you are also able to receive the love and the care from them. If you see 1212 or 1221, then this number is only about the energy of play. It's all about bring a little bit play and perspective in your life, because overdoing play is also not going to be great, correct? So this number would often come in your life, when you're taking your life way too seriously, when you just feel that, everything has just become everything has become like bad, or like I'm really being calculative about everything in my life, or I'm like really trying to see if it works for me or not works for me, then maybe this number is trying to tell you that chill down a little bit. It's time to bring a little bit play in your life. It's time to maybe go and travel, or try to do things which make you a little bit light-hearted. अब light-hearted कैसे होता है? कभी कभार ट्रस्ट करके होता है, कभी कभार छोटे मोटे रिस्क लेकर होता है, कभी कभार एक्चुअली थोड़ी अपनी सेंसिटिविटी को टेम करके होता है, सो दैट यू आर नॉट टेकिंग एवरीथिंग टू योर हार्ट फर्स्ट एंड जस्ट सीइंग थिंग्स फॉर व्हाट दे आर. The summer also becomes about receiving and giving in equal measure, so that you find the harmony with people around you, with resources around you, and you also are that harmonious element amidst wherever you are currently. But it's a very light-hearted number. So everything that you're doing needs to be done from the lens of play or a little bit of fun. Like थोड़ा chill होने की ज़रूरत है. Now, when it comes to any other numbers, which is like 13, 13, 14, 14, 16, 16, 17, 17, or any other number, what you can do is, अगर आपको ऐसे numbers consistently दिख रहे हैं, first you break the number and then you see उसमें numbers क्या क्या हैं. Let's pick an example. Suppose you're seeing 14, 14. There's number 1 and there's number 4. So then you can go and refer to the meanings of number 1 and number 4. And at the same time, now add up these numbers. So 1 and 4 becomes 5, right? So that would also be a meaning for this particular number that you're seeing, which is 14, 14. 1 का भी meaning होगा, 4 का भी होगा, 5 का भी होगा. अब हम इसको इंटीग्रेट कैसे करेंगे? इंटीग्रेट ये समझ के करेंगे जो मैंने पहले बोला, कि जब हमें ऐसे वाले नंबर सीखते हैं कि 14, 14, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the steps to a ladder. तो मे बी एक टाइम पे फर्स्ट देयर वुड बी वन लेसन दैट वुड कम, देन अदर लेसन दैट वुड कम, एंड देन फाइनली द फाइनल लेसन वुड कम, which might be mostly like the addition of these numbers. So that is how also you can go and check the message of any other number that you're seeing, which I may have missed out in this video.